So I'm finally back with another Battlefront 2 video, and this video has been requested a lot by I'm just joking, guys. This video was not requested by you guys a lot. I just lost ideas of what to do for Battlefront 2 videos, so I decided to take a route into this little route of basically telling you guys what is the best gun to use for these classes in Star Wars Battlefront 2. And that means I'm going to go down through a lot of details like comparing the guns, seeing which attachments are the best for these guns, and seeing basically what is the good, bad, and the ugly for all the guns. There's only 3 guns for all the classes at the moment in Star Wars Battlefront 2. So my name is DezNik, and without further ado, let's get right into the video and tell you guys what is the best gun and the best attachments to use for that gun in the class that I'm taking a look at for today. So the class I'm taking a look at today is the Heavy class, and the Heavy class has all those LMGs. Now, I'm not really going to take a look at those heavy blasters that are the original ones, like the ones that the battle droids have, the troopers, the stormtroopers, and whatnot, but I really hope sooner and later updates that they add modified versions of these guns that we can add attachments to and whatnot. So before I get into the guns, if you're interested on wondering what are the best loadouts for these classes, that I will pop a card to that series right about now if you want to check out what are the best loadouts for basically everything that can have a loadout in this game. I just haven't done Lando at the moment, and I'm trying my best to rake him up, but yeah, he's a little bit hard, so yeah. But the first gun we're going to be taking a look at is the DC-15LE, basically the modified version of the DC-15. It has a cooling power of 8 slots and a range of 4 slots, as well as a rate of fire of 9 slots and a damage of 2 slots. What this basically means is this gun has a very slow cooling rate, but a really high rate of fire, but a really low damage rate. So the attachments that are for the DC-15LE is reduced recoil, and I want to show what it looks like in third person as well as in first person, but what this basically does is, it's in the name, it reduces the recoil of the gun so the bullets don't spread everywhere, or the lasers. Next up you have is improved zoom. What this basically does is it lets you zoom in a greater distance to shoot at targets that are way farther, but this gun isn't a good range damage weapon, so I don't know why you would go for this attachment. And then last but not least is the explosive shot. What this does is it makes your lasers explosive. Now, I'm not so sure if it increases the damage, because from my testings, there really was no damage difference on using the normal lasers for this gun and the explosive ones. Just the only difference was the explosive shots made it where you could shoot people that were near the lasers. So if they were hiding in a corner, you can basically shoot the floor and do the same amount of damage you do to them while you shoot at them directly. And it basically made it where your cooling, or your basically heat up, was way faster than normal. Now in my opinion, I will say that this gun is the bad out of the 3 guns you get for the Heavy class, because it's not a good damage gun, and it's a really slow cooling rate, or it has a really slow cooling rate on this gun. Basically, once you overheat it and then you cool it, it takes a long time until you can shoot again, and the attachments aren't the best for this gun. The only attachments I would really recommend is reduced recoil, and if you want exploding shot, but exploding shot doesn't make a big difference, but it does help a little bit. Next up is the FWMB-10K, the First Order's LMG. Now the cooling power for this gun is 7 dots, and then for the range it is 5 dots, and then for the rate of fire it is 6 dots, and then for the damage it's 4. Basically meaning this gun has a more damage output with a faster cooling rate and a slower rate of fire. Now the first attachment for the FWMB is auto cooling. What this does is once you release the trigger from the gun, it instantly starts cooling the gun, which is a big advantage. The next attachment is night vision, giving you the ability to see enemies in the dark. Now there's not many dark maps in Star Wars Battlefront 2, so this really isn't that helpful. And the last attachment is Ion Shot, which basically gives you the ability to do increased damage to turrets, vehicles, and shields, but reduce damage to troopers, special units, and whatnot. Now I will say this is the ugly out of the 3 guns for the Heavy, because it's not bad, but it's not good. It's a good in-between. You can use this gun if you want, but it's not the worst performing gun like the DC-15LE. You're gonna have some great cooling and some great damage, but not so great range. And honestly, the only attachment you should really use for this gun is the auto cooling. There's no point of using the night vision, there's no point of using the ion shot. And then last but not least is the TL-50, the returning gun from the first Star Wars Battlefront. Now it has a cooling power of 5 dots, a range of 3 dots, and a rate of fire of 9 dots, and a damage of 3. Meaning it cools really fast, it has a really high rate of fire, its damage is mediocre. Now the first attachment you can get for this gun is improved cooling, which basically makes your cooling a lot faster. And the next attachment is reduced spread, which basically shrinks all the bullets down into one circle and makes it more sustainable so all your bullets actually hit your target. And then last but not least is the notorious second fire, where you can shoot a concussion blast as a second fire, which basically replaces your zoom, so you can't zoom anymore once you put this in. Now this is the good of the heavy class. This is the best gun out of all of the guns for the heavy. It really does a lot of damage, and that's because of the rate of fire. If it wasn't for the rate of fire, the damage wouldn't be so great, but since the rate of fire is so crazy, the damage is constant and it really does melt through enemies. In my opinion, all of the attachments are fine for this gun, but the best ones to use is improved cooling and reduced spread. That basically makes you a more versatile and aggressive player when you use those two attachments, but you can use secondary fire if you want. Now that is the good, the bad, and the ugly for the heavy class, and what gun you should use for the heavy class and the attachment for it. So if I did help you guys out on picking out what is a good gun to use for the heavy class, then drop a like, it helps me out a ton. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more music content I upload Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And remember that bell and subscribe button so you don't miss an upload. And also I'll pop up cards to the series playlist right about now. This series playlist is the good, bad, and ugly guns of Star Wars Battlefront 2, or whatever the playlist is called, because this series is kind of new. So if you're interested on wondering what are some good guns to use for these classes and which guns have the best attachments and which guns is the bad, the good, and the ugly, then go ahead and check out this playlist. Other than that, that has been pretty much it for this video, guys, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. And also comment down below your opinion on this. Do you like how I picked the TL50? Do you think that the DC-15LE is better or the FWMB is better? Just any opinion I would love to hear in the comments down below, and I would love to hear why as well. But other than that, I'll see you guys in my next video, and peace.